Hello students, welcome back on e-learning platform of STBA. Students, in early two videos, we have discussed about nationalism in India. Now this is the third part of this chapter. Students, now I am going to recall and revise you the first two videos that was about the socio, political, cultural and economic condition of India during the Britishers period. How did Gandhiji come to India and how did he unfold mass movements against of the Britishers? At last, in second last video, we have discussed about non-cooperation movement. By the Chauri Chaura incident, that movement was failure. But in 1928, when Britishers sent Simon Commission to suggest some constitutional changes and to see the functioning of constitutional system in India, but it was boycotted by the Indians. Several leaders were beaten. One of our eminent leader, Lala Lajpat Rai, assaulted, and after few days he died due to severe injuries. At last, against of Lord Irwin's vague offer of dominion status, now the leaders of Congress, they demanded in 1929 complete independence, Purna Swaraj. Students, although the demand of Purna Swaraj or first Independence Day celebration not very attractive for the Indians, then Gandhiji sent a letter of 11 demands to Viceroy Lord Irwin. He sent this letter on 31st January 1930. That letter was regarding some general and some specific issues of different classes, industrialist to peasants, because he wanted the participation of all the sections of society in the united struggle. That letter was an ultimatum. But Lord Irwin didn't want to negotiate with Gandhiji. Then Gandhiji, as he said that it was an ultimatum, he started his salt march from 12th March 1930 from Sabarmati to coastal town Dandi. Students, you may ask, why did Gandhiji select salt law at first? Students, you should accept this fact that salt is an essential items of food, and also it is used by the rich as well as poor sections alike. And third, Britishers had monopoly over the production of salt. That's why salt was at first chosen by him. Now, 6th April 1930 was the day when Gandhiji with his 78 followers reached Dandi, and by boiling sea water manufactured salt and violated salt law. This Dandi March or Salt March was the beginning of the civil disobedience movement. Later on, people also refused to pay their revenues, rents, and they did not agree to give chowkidari taxes and to accept forest law. Students, you may ask that what was the basic difference between non-cooperation and civil disobedience movement. During non-cooperation movement, Gandhiji decided not to cooperate with British officials and their goods and services. But in civil disobedience movement, along with these demands, we decided to break the colonial laws, colonial taxes. Now, when the civil disobedience movement was at its height. By frightening, British government started to arrest the eminent leaders of Congress. Abdul Ghaffar Khan, one of the most significant disciple of Gandhiji, was arrested in Peshawar. After a month later, Gandhiji himself arrested. Against of their arrest, the Satyagrahis became arrogant and resented. They started to attack on British structures and buildings. Then a frightened government started to arrest the leaders of Congress. Approximately 1 lakh satyagrahis were arrested. Now, in this situation, Gandhiji decided to call off civil disobedience movement by signing a pact that is known as Gandhi-Irwin Pact that was signed in 5th March 1931. By this pact, it was decided Gandhiji would participate in second round table conference at London and Britishers would release all the political prisoners. But in London, there was no negotiation between Gandhiji, Ambedkar and Muslim League. We can say that due to disappointment or failure of second round table conference, Gandhiji returned to India. When he returned to India, he saw that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Abdul Ghaffar Khan and other leaders also, these leaders were not released and Congress also declared illegal organization and also Britishers banned on political demonstrations, rallies. That's why Gandhiji relaunched civil disobedience movement in 1932. Most of the participants were disappointed when Gandhiji decided to call off civil disobedience movement in 1931. That's why now they were not so enthusiastic. That's why in 1934 this movement lost its significance and at last Gandhiji completely called off civil disobedience movement. Now students, you have to know who were the participants of civil disobedience movement. In non-cooperation movement, we discussed that several people like middle class, peasants, tribal people, plantation workers, they participated. But during this movement, rich peasants, poor farmers, big businessmen, industrial workers, women, Dalits and Muslims were also the participants. Now we will discuss about the participation of rich peasants. Rich peasants were disappointed with the British policies because Jats of Uttar Pradesh, Patidars of Gujarat, they were demanding reduction in high revenues because due to trade depression, their cash income disappeared and they were not in position to pay high revenues. That's why they decided to participate in civil disobedience movement. But they were disappointed when Gandhiji decided to call off this movement in 1931 and second time they were not actively participating in civil disobedience movement. Second, about the participation of poor farmers. Poor farmers were working on the lands of big landlords. Again, due to trade depression, these people were not in position to pay their high rents. That's why they were demanding that they should be relaxed from paying of high rents. But Congress was not in support of no rent campaign because it might upset the rich landlords. Now, the participation of big businessmen and industrialists. During the First World War, these people had made huge profits and wanted to continue this profit. That's why, after the First World War, they were demanding to protect from import of foreign goods. That's why these businessmen organized FICCI, Federation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industrialists, in 1927. That was led by Purushottam Das, Thakur Das, G.D. Birla, and that demanded to protection from foreign goods, import of foreign goods. That's why they provide their financial assistance to civil disobedience movement. They thought that one day will come when their trade would be flourish. But when Gandhiji decided to call off this movement, then their participation no longer remained with Gandhiji. Now, industrial workers, they were participating in civil disobedience movement, but their participation was not so active and enthusiastic. Only in few places like Nagpur region they participated, but in few numbers, because they thought that Congress was the party of big businessmen and industrialists, and actually Congress also not wanted to take the support of workers because it might upset the businessmen and industrialists. Students, you can understand why these people were participating in civil disobedience movement. They were participating due to their own purpose. But two communities were there: women, Dalits and Muslims. Although they were participating, but their participation was in limited numbers. At this time, I am talking about the participation of women. These women were coming from rich rich families of urban and village areas. They actively participated in rallies, demonstration, picketing of foreign clothes and liquor shops. But Congress was reluctant with the support of women. They wanted their symbolic presence in Congress. They didn't ready to provide them any significant post within the Congress, because at this time they were thinking that the prime duty of women towards their home, towards their children. Now, about the participation of Dalits and Muslims, we will discuss about their participation in next video.